Yeah, sir, on foreign policy.
Okay.
Yung may patuloy po mga reports ng incursions, even spying sa internal waters ng Pilipinas. Ano ho ang magiging position ninyo with regard to asserting our sovereignty in the region? What is your position on the arbitral ruling, and how will you enforce it?
Well, in terms of sovereignty, there is no wiggle room there. Our sovereignty is sacred. We will not compromise it in any way. We are a sovereign nation with a functioning government, so that we do not need to be told by anyone how to run our own country. So that's essentially sovereignty, self-determined in the Philippines. So again, there is no room for negotiation there. It is sacred and inviolable. So that is my approach to Philippine sovereignty. I have already said this before. Considering in the West Philippine Sea that there have been these conflicts, we will not allow a single square, and we even make it smaller, a single square millimeter of our maritime, coastal, and up to we are 200 kilometers rights to be trampled upon. And how do we do this? We strengthen our. We're talking when let's not traipse around it. We're talking about China. And how do we do that? We talk to China consistently with a firm voice. And we say that hindi naman natin pwedeng girahin. At gusto ba natin gawin yun? Manggigera pa tayo ngayon, papasok pa tayo sa gera. That's the last thing we need right now. So we have to continue to discuss with them the conflicting claims that we have with China and that China has with other members of ASEAN. And I think ASEAN is still going to be a very critical part of that discussion, of that. But nonetheless, we also have to continue to pursue bilateral contact and communication with China. In fact, this is what I mentioned when I spoke to President Xi. When he called me to congratulate me on winning the election. I immediately went and I said that we have to continue to talk about this. We cannot be allowed to. This cannot be allowed to fester and to become more severe in terms of a problem between our two countries. So that's why in foreign policy, the Americans now, of course, have a very strong global interest, strategic interest in the region with the rise of China and their view that the West Philippine Sea is a critical part of the trade routes, which it is, and that's why it's so important. Trade routes for shipping in the region. So we are a small player amongst very large giants in terms of geopolitics. So we have to ply our own way. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I do not subscribe to the old thinking of the Cold War, where we had the spheres of influence, where you were under the Soviet Union or you were under the United States. I think that we have to find an independent foreign policy where we are friends with everyone. It's the only way. The closest part of China to my province, Ilocos Norte, is 600 kilometers away. We have to be good neighbors, and we ask them to be good neighbors to us as well. It was of mutual benefit to our countries. Now, the role that the United States is going to play Well, we define that role very simply. Well, it comes from our traditional relationship with the United States, which has been very strong and very advantageous to both of us, both the United States and the Philippines, over the past 100 or so years. So it is that's how we define that. So we must maintain that balance. I think we are not. I don't think we are the only country that's having to do that. And again, the partnerships that we make within the region, ASEANs primarily, are going to be of critical importance when it comes to that. So we have to make those. As I told the ambassadors when they came, not only economically but geopolitically, as we emerge from the pandemic and the crisis that it brought, we have to form alliances and partnerships, because no country can do this, can recover or can change foreign policy on their own. Can change the geopolitical situation on their own. And that's why we have to forge partnerships. And those are the partnerships that will keep things stable. And that's my belief and that's my approach.
Last na lang po yung arbitral ruling. Patuloy po ba natin to igigit?
Ay, hindi na natin. Nasa atin na yung arbitral ruling. So we will, of course, we have a very important ruling in our favor, and we will use it to continue to assert our territorial rights. It's not a claim; it is already our territorial right, and that is what the arbitral ruling can do to help us.